Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome everyone to this beautiful world of India, Bharat. The world, the only country in the world which is of Sanatana Dharma, respecting all religion. Just watch. We just had 8th of March Shivaratri, 23rd, 24th of March was the holy Rash Leela, Krishna, and thereafter we got Gudi Parva, and now coming up Ramanavami, and there is Hanuman Jayanti. Holy month of Eid, of 31 days of fasting, and many know very little, and we try to distance ourselves, but we are in the land of Sanatana Dharma, respecting all religion. Christianity, Lent started for also 30 days and end with Good Friday and Easter Sunday. So I got inspired to share with you two. One is Ashtavakra. Ashtavakras chapter 15 verse 4. And if you ever get hold of this book, I will share with you in the coming Sunday from chapter 15 to chapter 4, chapter 15 in verse 15 to verse 4, a beautiful series of this very famous Ashtavakra Samhita. It takes us to another world where how can it not be Sanatana Dharma? Respecting all religion. I got inspired and the divine forces wrote through me. I thought I'll share a few lines of the poem which got written through my hand. In India's vibrant heart, where cultures intertwine, Sanatana Dharma's light, spirit thine, respect for every faith, a guiding gentle hand, embracing all religion across the Sanatana sacred land. From ancient temples old to mosques that pierce the sky, to churches reaching high and gurdwaras nigh, one thread of unity. In diversity we weave a tapestries of faiths where all souls can believe. Oh, holy days, we gather with hearts both warm and true, celebrating festivals for me and also you. Eid's joy, Diwali's glow, Christmas carols ring, embracing the Buddha, Mahavir Jain, and the Shaivite, the ISKCON, the Tantras, the Buddha, the Zoroastrians, and the Judaism. And it goes on. I will just read out the last 4 or 5 lines. It will be available for you if you like poetry and like the flow of the thought of the Sanatana Dharma. Himalayan peaks and reach the ocean as rivers just as the same. All rivers start from the top of the glacier of Himalaya and reach the ocean, especially Ganga, with so much of boulders and hurdles and the rocks on the way, and the mountains, it bores whole through. Himalayan peaks and reach the ocean as rivers, just as the same. Though rituals may differ and scriptures may not blend, human heart yearns for the same, with heart's journey end. So let us celebrate this tapestry so bright where every heart's faith shine with its own light. May Sanatana Dharma spirit wear guide, and today being the India's end of peace where all faiths reside. So with the 8th today, 8th Mubarak to all of you, and very few of us are truly aware of the purpose of the Eid. You know, the Eid al-Fitr or Eid Mubarak, which is basically is the inner renunciation and celebration as you celebrate completing the Ramadan, the discipline and self-awareness cultivated during this fast continued to with great joy. Our Muslim brothers and sisters, they follow the scriptures guide and rewind on that. In this, I would like you to understand there is something called taqwa, which is also called the path of thorn. Let me tell you a little story of taqwa. Umar bin Khattab, who was the second caliph, asked one of his companions, Ubay, about what is taqwa. Ubay said, have you ever walked on a path that thorns on it? So Umar said, yes, Ubay. So he said, what did you do then when you have a path of thorns and you have to walk over them? He said, I rolled up my pants sleeves and carefully walked around them. And this exactly is to protect oneself from the true life's dangerous journey called this family like samsara, so that one can successfully complete the journey hereafter as every day. You know, same thing is Ashtavakra. In verse 4, chapter 15, he's saying, Nat tvam deha, nate deha, bhukta karta nava bhavan, chidrupusi sada sakshi, chirapeksha sukham chara. He said, you are not your body, not your name, not your form, not the doer, not the enjoyer of this world. We think we are enjoying this samsara. He said, being consciousness, you continue to march, knowing aware, being aware that everything around, everybody around is that consciousness. Chidruposi, Sada Sakshi as the witness to this world. Similarly, Hindu ceremony, the Christianity, which went on. There is a beautiful story of Muhammad, and I got guided to write that as a poem, but I will not tell you the poem. This is about, Muhammad was being chased, and there was the cave of the Thaur, and he hid in there, and Ali Akbar's the soldiers, there is something called the spiders. The moment he went in, the spiders weaved a net around front of the cave, and immediately came a tree which got filled up with 2 wild pigeon piece of like doves, and they laid eggs on it, and they were sitting on it. And when the soldiers came to check, and they found all this, they said he cannot be in this cave. Just before going in, Muhammad was asked by his co-traveler, you are going in there, the soldiers will come and catch you. We are only 2. How can we fight? And Muhammad said, we are not 2, we are 3. He said, but this is you and me. He said, and the Allah right on top. This is the faith. This is what is the Sanatana Dharma is talking about, and same thing is going ahead. With this, I wanted you to take you back to understand the comparison of this holy month. How notice whether the Hinduism, the Christianity, the Islam, all of them are celebrating this time as a very pious time. During this, did you know that the Holy Purnima, Rash Purnima, is also the birth date of very little known by most people, but a very famous saint is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you might not have heard the name, but you have heard ISKCON, Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement. ISKCON world over today, and especially in the US, Manhattan, and the rest of the parts of the world, America and Europe and India. That ISKCON movement was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and further disciples to disciple came on Prabhupada, who went on to Manhattan, US and started off this ISKCON movement. I want you to know a little bit about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born about 1486, about 600 years ago. And on a moonlit night of that was 18th February, which was also Dol Purnima, or holy, same night, full moon. His mother and father was Jagannath Mishra and mother was Sachi Devi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the time of the birth, he was known to be a most beautiful child, so beautiful that nobody could take their eyes off. And as the baby was growing up, all the ladies of the surrounding area and the young girls, they would all come down and throng into Sachi Devi and take the baby from lap to lap to lap to lap. And this is how it is described. His golden hue was his skin, and rosy these lips, which was outstanding. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to become a greatest of the leader and a renunciate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's many stories, he became known to be the reincarnation of Vishnu. And Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, in the message of Taqwa, I would like you to, just now I talked to you about Taqwa in Eid al-Fitr, Eid Mubarak, Ramadan. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who practiced Islam for 3 continuous years, and he practiced all religion. He was called a glutton of religion. He practiced Christianity for 2 years. He said, like Taqwa, he talked about when you are walking on thorns, you would better put on shoes. What is this putting on shoes? Putting on shoes is the same as what is done in the Ramadan, is abstinence from sensual pleasures and controlling your senses. And this is called putting on shoes in the samsara, which is filled with boulders and hurdles and sadness and sorrow and misery and little joy too. But he talked about it then. This is what is Vishnu avatar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought in. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to become one of the greatest of the saints in the 14th, 15th century. He went on to have many miraculous stories in his life. When he was a baby, he was naturally mothers, fathers, and everybody would give him beautiful jewel and gold, and the baby used to be adorned with it. So one of the thieves one day found that he was not being attended to, picked him up and wanted to run away. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name was Nimai, and the Hindu name was Vishwamvara. And Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra had another son. The first son was Vishwarupa. And Vishwarupa went ahead and became a monk. Now naturally Sachidevi's broken heart, now Vishwambara was all for her. And this Vishwambara went on to take on this first, become a great scholar. He had many stories. As he was growing up, he was supposed to have grown up to be very tall, much, at least 8 to 12 inches taller than most of the people around. This is a Bengali village called Nadia near Bengal, and this place is very famous because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he brought something called Nyaya Shastra, intrinsic logic for debate. Those days, 14th, 15th century, India was famous for debate. You've heard about same 14th century is Shankaracharya, and about that time. And here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to Mithila, and there he picked up this Nyaya Shastra and he brought it all the way to Nadia and started to spread, doing intense research. He was a very talented teacher. There are stories of transformation. The thief who stole when he was a baby, and he went round and round and round. He forgot his way, and on his own he came back to Sachidevi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, Nimai. His name was Vishwambara Nimai. And naturally he had to hand it over. He came back again in front of Sachidevi. And not only that, he got transformed so much that from thief he became a great saint. And he spent the rest of his life in meditation and chanting. Now this Nyaya logic actually was originally in Mithila, which is in Bihar, was started off by Tat Chintamani in this place called Mithila. Tat Chintamani was the name. And Nimai, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went off and he picked up this and brought it to Nadia. And Nadia became so famous for this that even the great monks from Tibet, they came down to learn from Nadia, Bengal. He became so famous. There are many stories of such things. His scholastic journeys were such that, those days, there is somebody called Keshava. He was very famous for his power over Sanskrit and writing poetry. Keshava challenged Chaitanya to say, and Chaitanya was known to be extremely brilliant scholar, and great in Advaita Vedanta and all Vedas and Upanishads. He had finished by hearting the whole. The Keshava was known and feared by everybody in the Tarkshastra those days. Keshava challenged, and they met each other on a moonlit night on the bank of river Ganga. So Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Keshava, why don't you describe the beauty of the river Ganga through some slokas? And Keshava instantly composed 100 slokas. 100 slokas, instantly. So talented. Nimai, imagine now, who is supposed to be the avatar of Vishnu, he by-hearted all of them just by hearing once. And then he told Keshava 6 mistakes on his first verse which he had made. Keshava was dumb and irritated, agitated. He left. But accepting defeat, but at night he got the vision of Mother Saraswati and coming and telling him that, look, I reside in Nimai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is said, Keshava subsequently went on to become his disciple and went on to become a great saint. So this cultivation of the logic this debating, intellectual journey in Nadia was started off by Nimai, and who went on to subsequently, get Christian. I will tell you more in detail on Sunday. Jagannath Mishra died a few days later. Sachi Devi was alone. After a while, Nimai had to go down to Gaya. Gaya, all of us, we go down to do the last rite ceremony of our father's parent, anybody who died. So Nimai went off to Gaya, and there he met in a Vishnu temple, and he was totally taken to that Vishnu name. And Nadia was already famous for Vaishnavas, and now he brought into that Vaishnava. He became so enamored. He had already started a school on Nyaya Shastra, and when he came back, he was totally transformed. And when he would start to take the class, very scholastic, but when he would start the scale, because of a Vaishnava, they would start with the name of a Hari. Hari is the name of Krishna. The moment he will say it, he will go into trance, and he will keep on thinking about Hari and talk about Krishna. And the students, they all start to look at him. After a while, when he comes to senses, and he said, "What happened? Am I saying something wrong?" Then Nimai is telling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling them, "Am I saying something wrong?" They said, "What happened to your Nyaya Shastra? You're talking about Krishna." And then eventually, Nimai told him with a folded hand, "You'll have to excuse me. I recommend each one of you take on the journey. Enough of this Tark Shastra." And he then decided to take on absolutely on and become a monk. I'll tell you the journey and his gurus. He had two choices. One is to go off to Vrindavan and stay there as a monk, or go to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath is thousands of years old temple. Rig Veda talks about Jagannath. It is made out of wood, and every few years the statue of Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra is changed. He had that as second choice. So Sachi Devi asked him, "You go to Jagannath and Puri and stay there. At least from Nadia, West Bengal to Puri is close by. It is still hundreds of kilometers, but it is closer, about 200 kilometers or so. Closer, they could walk down those days and meet. We can hear your news. But if it was Vrindavan, it will be too far away and you'll be out of circulation." He went on, and wonderful experiences there in Jagannath Puri. Eventually, at the end, it is said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never died. One day he was walking on the sea beach and he was singing, and then from the footsteps marked on the foot stand, and he just vanished into the air. It's the description of his departure. This beautiful statement I thought I will touch upon with the Sanatana Dharma. This is the beautiful journey of so-called reality of the world, which is this physical reality, but there is another reality. So let me tell you this with a small story, or not a story, a statement. If you feed a tiger and if you feed a deer, separately of course, a deer will grow up to be a full-fledged deer. A tiger will grow up to be a full-fledged tiger, won't they? Now, but a human child, if he is fed, will he become a full-fledged human being? No, because human beings are not just the body, not just the limbs, not just the name and the form and the function. It's something else. And that something else is the one which you and I are aspiring to be through the 4 yogas. Let's take up the journey. Welcome to this wonderful Sanatana Dharma. Those of you go through this little write-ups, have fun with the poems that got written down if you're interested. I welcome you. Come on, let's take up that inner journey. External journey, nattam deha, nate deha. We are not the body, not this name and form. Come, I welcome you. Jai Guru.